Welcome to this week's video, and this week I've picked myself up another Nintendo Switch off eBay, which is classed as faulty. So as you can see, it's not bad condition, it's got stickers on the back. It's the cheapest one I could find, only £16. They made it up with the £8 postage though, but £24 overall is not too bad. So with this one we get no freebies with it, no game, no SD card, but at least we get the kickstand, which we don't normally get. So I'm going to plug it in. So as you can see, we're only getting 5 volts. So 5 volts is bad. We should be getting 15. So we've definitely got something wrong internally. So we are going to have to open it all up. So we'll peel the stickers off the back. We'll get the tri-wing screws off the back cover. The Phillips head screws around the side. We'll remove this metal heat shield off the back. Just peel that away. And then the first thing I notice is it's missing a game card. Very strange. We disconnect the battery. And now we'll check for shorts on the M92. So if the caps beep both sides, this means there's a short. There's no double beeps on these, they're all fine. We'll check this fuse here. This should beep, and strangely it doesn't. It's very rare that I ever get a faulty fuse. We'll check the BQ chip, and I'm getting a short around this as well. And again, this is very strange. I don't normally get a short around this chip. This could be the chip at fault, or there could be other links to it as well. The first thing we need to do though is to get the board out. So we remove all the screws, all the ribbon cables, and take the motherboard out so we can take a closer look under the microscope. So first off, we'll have a little look at the M92 chip. It doesn't look too bad. We'll flip it over, see if there's any damage on the other side, but again it looks okay. And then we'll have a little inspection of the rest of the board. Nothing of issue there. We'll check again with the fuse, and it's definitely not beeping. We'll check around this max chip in the corner, so it is showing shorts, but it could be because they are low impedance. This is sometimes linked to the BQ chip, so it could be either of them are a fault. So what I'm going to do first is take the BQ chip off. So I'll cover the plastics with Kapton tape and this protection. And then we'll check, and we still got a short. So the next thing we're going to go is over to the max chip. And then we're going to apply a little bit of heat. So normally do around about 360, 380 removing chips. There's no plastic here that we need to worry about. So we'll leave it on for a couple of seconds. And then we'll lift the chip away. Once it's cooled down, we'll come back in again, and we've still got a short. So it could be that some of the pins here are touching now we took it off. So what I'll do is I'll come in with my solder wick, fresh flux, big soldering iron tip. And then we'll remove all the excess solder on there. And then that way we know we definitely don't have any solder balls touching, which could create a short. Give it a little clean with isopropyl, get rid of all that sticky flux. And then we'll come in again. And we've still got a short around the max chip and the BQ chip. So the next option I come in, I decide to inject some voltage. So inject it into a short, and then as you can see, we've gone from 2 volts to a massive draw. So there is a short somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where. I used a thermal camera, but it didn't show any heat spots. I'm just going to take off this old broken fuse. And then I decided I'm going to try and swap the port over as well. So apply a load of heat, 380 degrees C, make sure it's completely melted before lifting away. Then you can move it away. Let it cool down, come with our multimeter, and we can have a test. And then as you can see, no more short. So because of that, I'm pretty sure the chips that I've taken off were okay. So I'll replace the BQ chip. Just make sure you line up perfectly. I'm going to get a fuse off a old donor board that I've checked and I know works. So take that off the old one, and then we'll pop it onto the new one. As I said before, it's very rare that these fuses ever blow. And now I'm just going to prepare to place a new port in. So what I do here is I apply some hot air, my soldering iron, and some solder wick. And the technique I always use is to remove all the old solder out of the port legs. Make sure you've got fresh solder on the port pad pins, and then apply heat from underneath. Once you see all the solder beginning to melt, I then come in with a new USB-C port And you know, all you've got to worry about is making the port legs connection. You don't have to worry about waiting for all the other main ports to melt as well. So put it into place, just make sure it's all lined up, then hold it down. Try and keep the heat moving as much as you can, it's less likely to cause any of the melting. And then when you're happy, move it away. So once it's cooled down, I'll flip it over and then we'll apply loads of solder into the port legs. This is going to make it nice and solid and less likely to ever have any movement in it. So plenty of flux, plenty of solder, just hold it down, let it flow all the way down. Give it a good clean again with isopropyl. Remove all that old flux. You don't want the board being all old and sticky. And then we'll flip it round, have a little closer look under the microscope to make sure that all the port pins are nice and solid, which they are, they're all touching. So if the external ones are good, it's pretty sure the internal ones are good. So now I need to refit this max chip. So I'm going to reball it, because again, as I said before, I'm pretty sure it's all okay. So all we'll do is we'll apply a little bit of flux, and then we'll come with a bit of fresh solder just to freshen up all the pins. I tried to reduce the temperature down on my soldering iron to around about 320 when doing this, because you don't want to be damaging the chip. And then some fresh flux again, and then come with solder wick. Just be very careful, you don't want to be ripping any pads, you don't want to be taking any of the solder mask off, this will make it harder. Give it a little clean of isopropyl. And now I've got this template that I'm going to line up. So just make sure you can see all of the solder pads in the right position. And then I'll come in with some solder paste. So try and dry out your solder paste as best as you can. The best way to do this is to put it onto tissue paper and just keep squashing it down until you get rid of the moisture. I've done this, I've left this out, but even while I'm doing this under the microscope, it still looks like it's got a bit of moisture in it. So having moisture in it sometimes will cause issues. The balls won't form evenly, but hopefully this will be okay. So I'll come with some tweezers, I come with the hot air 360, a low air percentage so it doesn't blow away, and then as you can see all the balls form. Once you know that they've all solidified, you just want to take the cover off straight away so it doesn't stick, and then we can see it all looks okay. So I'll come with a touch of flux again, I'll just hold it with some tweezers, and then I'll come with my hot air again. And then all we're doing is simply reflowing all the balls to make sure that they all look and are all the same size, so we won't have any issues when we're fitting it to the board. So a couple of seconds, make sure it's all melted, they're all okay, let them dry, have a little look, and they all look perfect, so I'm very happy with that. Now we reposition it, so make sure you get it in the right position. As you can see, the wording is at an angle. I think the dot is to the bottom left. So I'll hold it into place, apply a little bit of heat. When I know it's secured, I'll remove my tweezers, then I'll apply a little bit of flux and then reheat it again. And then you should see it move very slightly if it's been in the right position, and you can even give it a little nudge, and this will show that the solder balls have taken and it's attached to the board. Let it cool, don't do anything until you know it's definitely cooled down. Then again come in with some isopropyl and give it a good clean. So it's going to be our first test, so we plug it into the battery, we'll plug it into the multimeter, and there you can see we're getting 15 volts. And then after a couple of seconds the screen goes off and on, and in theory that means that the switch is trying to boot. We'll just flip it over, make sure it works the other side, which it does. Sometimes the pins might not be connected, so I'm just going to very quickly put it into the housing, connect as little as possible. You need to really connect a couple of things. A game card reader, which obviously comes as a spare. We'll try and turn it on. And we get the Nintendo logo, which is always good. Will it boot further? Yes, we get the Nintendo Switch logo, and then we get to the home logo. It wasn't slow, it loaded up to the speed that you expect, and as you can see from the basic tests, we're all looking good. So the volume works, it connects to the Wi-Fi, which can also be an issue. We'll just pop a game card into it. It's recognising games, so that's also good. And then we'll plug some Joy-Cons to the side. This is normally where we have an issue as well. Both of these connect perfectly, and as you can see, there's not even any wiggle in them either. And the final test that we're going to do is we're going to plug it into a dock, and you can see it showing on the television. So thankfully we don't have to go back and do anything with the P13 chip. We've now got a fully working Nintendo Switch. So as you can see, it cleaned up well, took all the stickers off the back. It's in pretty good condition for the age. It has got parental controls on it, but that's easy to remove. As you can see, there's lots of names along the top, so it was a very much loved Nintendo Switch, but we've managed to bring it back to life. A £16 V2 Nintendo Switch, all fully working, now ready for a new home. So hopefully you found the video informative. Hopefully you found some tips to help you do some repairs yourself. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.